Spicy or not?
Does everybody from over there like it hot?
Join us today on the Spice Factor. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Culture Connection Conversations, where we will bring you relatable stories of diversity.
Hi, I'm Filomena, based in the Netherlands.
And I am Claudia from Luxembourg.
I'm a certified intercultural training, working with leaders and SME entrepreneurs.
And I am a professional coach working with entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, as well as their teams in tech and beyond.
You call us when, as a leader or entrepreneur, your teams are struggling, results are going down, or there's friction.
Okay, let's get started.
Here's the story today, Claudia. Spicy food. Is there any
Yes.
relations with intercultural awareness?
Well, let me tell you an anecdote. There was this already incidentally intercultural team. So these people were not like a foreigner to, intercultural biases and things like that. And a new gentleman joined the team. He was from India. And so, in an effort to welcome this new person to the team, the whole team went out to lunch. The team leader took him out to lunch.
A
And
special restaurant, Claudia, or just a regular?
an Indian restaurant,
Of
no
course.
less. Yes, yes, yes. Just to, make the point that they respected his heritage and that it would be really interesting for him to maybe feel comfortable and welcomed into the team. So they go into this Indian restaurant, and here the team leader, again in an effort to welcome this person, suggests all these spicy dishes. And in the end, the Indian guy said, "I'm sorry, I cannot eat spicy food." And so there was this moment that, but of the team leader realizing that because of the heritage of this person being from India, his very strong assumption had been all Indians eat spicy food or love spicy food and are
Yeah.
able to eat it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was not a big deal. They just included dishes that were not spicy, which actually was quite welcomed by another majority of the team, mind you.
Yeah.
But it's just an illustration of these assumptions that we make.
Yes.
India implies spicy food.
Food. Yeah.
And it's just, let's stop and maybe not jump to those kind of conclusions. That's
Yeah.
the story for today.
Well, thanks for that, Claudia. Well, first of all, I would have been a bit nervous at the table because when it comes to spicy food, it's very personal, right? So yeah, it's personal. And like you say, in this case, there's bias, and it happens to all of us, right? It's, I think, a big moment of realization. And it must have been pretty awkward for this new person from India opening up and sort of admitting, I cannot handle spicy food, right? Because some people might have been surprised or reacted. And I think me at the table, I would have expressed my relief of not having to eat spicy food, right? Because you have to be used to it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and when
I think
you,
yeah,
yeah,
it really shows the differences in culture. And actually, just as a parenthesis, this was an example of an Indian gentleman. It
yeah,
could just have easily been all Koreans love spicy kimchi, or all Germans eat Jägerschnitzel every lunch, or something.
yeah,
It could be any kind of just jumping to conclusions just because of somebody's ethnicity. We're not here in any way, shape, or form picking on Indian people, okay, or spicy food for that matter. So,
No.
just getting that out of the way. Um, the because this brings also up something very interesting is if you are confronted with these assumptions about how you should react in terms of where you're from or your heritage, how do you react? How do you react? And because you said for you it might have been, or you assume that for this Indian gentleman it might have been uncomfortable, but it might not have been. So again, even there, it's like, yeah, I am comfortable with being different from your typical Indian versus, oh my God, I'm not like your typical Indian. I'm so sorry. Or yeah. So it really there too is kind of the perspective of that you are in how open you are about these things,
Well,
about what you can eat or not eat, what you can drink or not
yeah.
drink.
And I think what strikes me a lot of times, I see it a lot, is whenever we have good intentions, we want to do the right thing, in this case, make someone feel welcome. This is where it goes wrong, right? Because we have such good intentions, we give double the effort to do no matter what, to make someone feel welcome or being able to open up or share, or we want to show we are very conscious of their nationality or individuality, if you like. And this is where it goes wrong, because we all have bias, um, which is only natural. It's the point of realization we have to be conscious of. Am I really doing the correct thing or maybe not, right? So step back and have a helicopter view, because I remember going on a holiday, and I was in a small group and we were happy to be on ourselves because we felt a bit tired, and basically all we wanted to do was read a book, lay down, and have some relaxing time. And as soon as we entered, this was in a bigger building with a lot of persons around. We had to share a table with people from the same country because everybody assumed we would like them. And we didn't. We didn't like being at the table. We didn't like having to interact with anyone at the point. So again, good intentions going wrong, right? And as soon as you start sharing and explaining why not, this is the point of, I think, realization, and also maybe a point of change. Feeling safe enough to open up, to say, I don't like spices, actually. I might be from India, but I don't like it, never have. Or someone else sharing something which is in the minds of others quite opposite from what they assumed.
Yeah. I think that a good thing is to be aware that you have assumptions. This team leader in this case had this assumption. If he had known that it was just an assumption, then he would have just asked, "Do you like spicy food?"
Exactly. Yeah.
That still shows concern for the Indian gentleman, that he would like to include him, that he's open to his preferences and things like that. Because even in India, it's so huge. There's regional differences and things like that.
Oh,
Making assumptions in this global manner is just a big risk, I think, that you take, because people are not typical. Nobody is really typical. And because we see this in intercultural teams or intercultural trainings, I assume for you as well, that if you were to ask the question, where are you from? I'm from Luxembourg, I'm from the Netherlands, or anything like that. So how much are you like the typical Luxembourger or Netherlandish person? It's people most of the time, like I would say over 80% of the time, are gonna say, oh, I'm not really like the typical one. So most of the people are not typical, and yet we make these white blanket assumptions about a people or of a nationality or an ethnicity or faith or whatever. Yeah.
I think in general, you could say we all belong as an individual to 16 different cultures, right? So all of us are a mixture of at least 16 cultures because of our experiences, way of life, profession, things we do, the past, and so on and so forth. So yeah, maybe to summarize it, Claudia, assumptions are natural, but you need to do your homework before you encounter someone, and maybe make it simple, right? Because basically all you do have to do is ask.
Ask, ask, double check your assumption and see if it is appropriate in this particular context with this particular person.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, this was great. Thank you so much, Philomene. Folks, if this story resonated with you in any way, if you have a similar experience to share, or some ancillary topics that come to mind that maybe we should talk about, let us know. Post something in the comments, and it will be our pleasure to maybe talk about it more in a future show. Also, if you do like what you hear, show us some love, subscribe to the channel, give us a like or a comment or any kind of engagement. We would appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you, Philomene. This
Thank you,
was
Claudia. See you again soon.
bye
Bye.
bye.